Do it from presentation. And there we go. Welcome to our back to school night presentation. It's a little bit different this year. Thank you for watching and listening. So you'll be able to access this anytime you want if you have questions. Then don't forget that you can email me or any of your teachers to ask questions if you have them. Joining me today is also Ms. Stordo.
Hi, everyone. We'll be doing this together. If you have questions for me, go ahead and shoot me a message. If you have questions for Mr. Palumbo, go ahead and send him a message, but we'll be sharing this together. So hang tight and we'll share the slides with you.
All right, slide number 1 is our daily schedule. As you can see, it's a very busy day and we're constantly moving and moving between subjects, okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. You guys can take a look about when we do things. We're flexible, so if we don't get something done, we can continue it later or do it the next day. We'll see. Communication folder.
Okay, every night we have a communication folder that will be sent home. The communication folder looks like this, okay? It comes home every night and it needs to come back to school the next day. This is important because work comes home, so it needs to be emptied out each night. And then if there's ever anything for you to sign or send back, that will be in the folder also. Notes and lunch money. If you ever have your student needs to go home a different way, the best way to do that would be to call the office. The office will then notify the teacher. This is the best way because sometimes days get busy. We can't check our emails or we might have a substitute teacher. So please call the office if there's a way that the child gets home differently that day. Lunch money. You can either send that with your student or there is a way to load money onto the account online. If there's important information, that typically is going to come through a Schoology message from your student's teacher. Otherwise, other important information could be sent home in their communication folders. Weekly homework. Every Monday, homework will be coming home. It will be in the folder. It will be blue, and it will be on the return to school side. Your student will bring the homework home Monday, and then it must be returned on Fridays. Please do not send it back until Fridays. We collect on Fridays. At the keep it home side, this is where their work will be, and we, like as I mentioned, please empty it every single night.
All right. For behavior purposes, we're still doing our STOMP behaviors clip chart in class. We're also trying something new that's virtual, and it's Class Dojo. Our kids, if you ask your kids about Class Dojo, they should know what it is. They earn points, things like that. They can also lose points, but so far everybody's earning points, so that's great. In years past, we would have them color at the end of the day their calendar on the back. We are not doing that this year, but you can ask your child what color they landed on. Green is good. Everything above it is better. But for the most part, we're using Class Dojo in class. All right?
So this is just what the colors stand for. Like Mr. Palumbo said, if they're on green, blue, purple, or mammoth, they had a really good day. Some days get crazy, so some days we don't use the clip chart as much. As long as they're green or above, they did a good day. If your student comes home and says they're on yellow, that probably just means they needed a few reminders. You're not going to hear from us. However, if your student was on red at the end of the day, you will get a phone call or a Schoology message from the teacher letting you know what happened, and maybe just talking, if you could talk with the student about what happened, that would be great to reinforce that and help them so the next day can be better.
Okay, and again, we're still doing STOMP behaviors and STOMP stamps for behavior throughout the day here and all around when we go to specials anywhere. So it's kind of like the years have been in prior to this year. Okay, and now we're moving into literacy. We follow the Colorado academic standards. Our universal reading instruction, we do shared reading, guided reading, independent reading, interactive reading, and read alouds. Okay, we also, let me see, I believe, is the next page Erla?
Check that.
Let's see.
Still writing.
Oh, still writing. Okay, we also do ERLA, okay, which is more skills-based. And we are reading with your children every day, moving them up. We want them to become ACE readers, which stands for ACE readers.
ACE readers. So over here, I don't know if you can see, but hopefully you can. We have A stands for accuracy. C stands for comprehension, and E stands for engagement. So accuracy, the students are reading the books. Comprehension, are they thinking about books? And engagement, how are they feeling about books?
All right. Writing, we focus on units of study. We're going to be working on writing personal narratives. Then we're going to move into nonfiction writing and opinion writing. We do word study each day, which involves phonics, spelling, and vocabulary. They are making words, building words, writing them in sentences, things like that. That would take care of our literacy. We're moving on to math. Want to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, we use Bridges for Math. I know if your student went here last year at Mountain Vista, they also use Bridges for Math. So every day we start with number corner, which is number sense, calendar, etc. After that, we move into our math lesson. And then following our math lesson, students get to independently practice what we learned that day. So as you can see, it has daily direct instruction, structured investigation, and open exploration. And then at home, you guys will have the weekly math homework. There is a Bridges support website that's listed on here that you can use at home if you ever have questions or need more support. But the math homework does follow what we do in the classroom. So let's say you try to do homework all Monday night and your student is maybe confused or doesn't know what to do. Maybe wait a few days because we might not have taught that lesson because the homework is for the whole week. So if the student isn't getting it Monday, maybe give it a couple days. And once we teach the lesson, the student should understand it better. If they still are a little confused, they can always ask the teacher at school, or you could shoot us a message asking us. But Bridges is our math curriculum that we are using.
And just to add on to the math part, it's fine. Yes, as she was saying, that it's after we teach the lesson in class, then the homework would be for that night. So the homework should be easy because they should have seen it leading up to it. Okay. All right. Science. We are still using FOSS Science. We do throughout the year 3 different units: and pebbles, sand, and silt, solids and liquids, and plants and insects. And I believe our first one has arrived, and we're going to be working in plants and insects. Okay.
So social studies is what we start the year off with. We kind of flip-flop. We'll do social studies, then science, social studies, then science. Until we get to the end of the year. So right now we are working on growth mindset. We're also doing a little bit with the STOMP behaviors. Then we'll move into the science FOSS kit, and then we'll come back and we'll do another social studies unit. So our other social studies units are maps, national symbols, holidays around the world, and community and safety.
All right, homework, as Ms. Sordo mentioned, it's assigned on Mondays. It's really important to keep it at home and send it back on Fridays. Okay. If they bring them back, I'll usually tell them to keep it in their folders until Friday because we're trying to teach them also responsibility. Eventually, if we do happen to go online for remote learning, you'll have to access Schoology or Seesaw, which there'll be Seesaw lessons embedded in Schoology, but we'll talk about that more as we move on to, if we ever move on to remote. Yes.
Yes, along with homework, make sure your student it's not on the homework, but we want them reading every single night, yes. A minimum of 10 minutes. It's really, really important that they're reading every single night. Reading in first grade is really the main thing that we're doing, and there's a huge growth that happens in first grade for reading. So it's really important that every single night you're reading at least 10 minutes minimum. Also with the math, if we will be sending home a book next week. It's a white book.
2 books.
And keep those in a safe place. If you do lose them, we'll have to charge $5 because that's what they charge us to get new books.
All right. So this is just for your information, and there'll be more coming out if we ever end up going back remote. Okay, this is just how to access Schoology. Okay, so the directions are there for you. Most of you know how to access Schoology. It's just very important you need to be logged out of everything and then log in using your username and password. Okay, and there'll be a lot more information coming out if we ever end up doing that. But hopefully we're in school for a long time. So let's see. If we do go online, you can refer to this as far as our expectations, the teacher's role, the student's role, and the parent's role during this time. So you might see, just real quickly, brain ready, meaning having the kids will have gotten up and had breakfast, a good night's sleep, and they're ready. Body ready, they're dressed for the day, and then supplies ready, they have their materials, things like that. Again, you'll hear more about that if we go remote.
All right, a little miscellaneous. This year, unfortunately, because of safety precautions, we are not able to pass out birthday treats. So there will be no birthday treats. We can still kind of sing to your child and celebrate their birthday just without birthday treats. For attendance, if your child is unable to come to school or they're coming late, you must call the attendance line and let them know that your child's not coming. If you do not call, you will get a call. But it's easier if you call and just update the office, letting them know that your child cannot come. Snack. We have snack at least one time, sometimes 2 times a day, depending on your class and the day. So please pack a couple of healthy snacks for your child each day. Put them in their backpack separate from their lunch boxes. Labeling them would be great too. And we try to have a morning snack and sometimes an afternoon snack too. And then lunch money we mentioned before. If you have lunch money, put it in your child's folder, or you can load online.
Okay, safety reminders, very important, especially this year. Wearing masks. Please talk to your child about wearing masks. They have been doing a great job so far. Please remind them that they have to be covering their nose and mouth at all times. Okay, and they are able to remove their masks when they're eating and drinking. Okay. It's a good idea to have a spare mask in their backpacks at all times. Okay. I have kids that are switching out masks, half the day because it becomes a little uncomfortable, but then they put a new mask on and it feels better. Okay. Also, safe distances. Talk with your child about personal space and personal awareness. We here at school, the teachers use phrases like using zombie arms in between the person in front of you and behind you, or a hula hoop space to make sure that we're not crossing our hula hoops. And if some kind of big animal in between you, make sure that we keep an alligator between us. Okay. And then kind of stay in your own bubble. So those are words, if you want to use them at home, feel free. So that would be it. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to refer, you'll have access to this all year. And then feel free, if you have any questions, to go ahead and email your teacher.
Thanks so much for listening. And if you have any questions, let us know. And if not, we appreciate you listening. Thanks so much.